Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Let's see. All right. Hello, chat. Got a couple people viewing right now. All right. So, JPig Live is going to be a series where we are just going to chill and do live stream stuff. I'm going to be working on some Blender projects, maybe even playing some video games and whatnot. It's all supposed to be just really chill, just being able to just talk to people. So I got this program here, Blender, pulled up. It's what I use to make my 3D stuff. So what I wanted to do was, you might notice I have this lovely avatar character that you can see on screen right now. And I want to kind of remake him because I'm going to be honest, the original model that I made, while it was came out pretty well, there was a couple things about him that I didn't like. Actually, I can probably pull him up here so you can see him. So this is the original one I had made, and it was based off some concept art that I got from Firefly Step. She was very helpful in making that. And there was, like, while again, I feel like overall it came out well, there's just some things about it that kind of bugged me how I built it. And I just sort of messed up when it came to things like the mouth here. Like if you look at the mouth, he's just like um specifically when it comes to like the smiles and whatnot, it gets like really weird when I really try to push the smile, as you can see here. Like, oh man, oh man, oh man. So I wasn't very satisfied with how this mouth came out, and there was like other things about it as well that I wasn't satisfied with. In just like some ways about it, I felt like I could like build it better, if that made sense. And things like the brow is really weird. Usually the brow like would go like in, and then you'd have like the eyelid, but this is just kind of like curves just like this, and that doesn't look good. And another thing I want to do is I want to change the style, because currently this looks very, for lack of a better term, 3D, if that makes sense. And I want it to sort of look like 2D. I want it to be a 3D model that looks like a 2D character. So one thing I have been doing is I've been looking over different methods for like 2D shading. I'm gonna pull up Chai here. If any of you have seen Hi-Fi Rush, you might recognize this character. This is Chai. He's the main character, and that game notoriously has a cel-shaded cartoon look. And I really like the look of the game. And I decided to pull in his model so I could like take a peek at how it works. And you can kind of see here that when he's toon shaded, the way the shadows pop up on his face are very controlled shapes. If I were to like, I don't know if there's like really a way for me to show this, but if I were to just turn this off and I'm gonna mess up this model for a sec here. Yeah, this is how a normal model, if you put like the toon shader on, this is how it normally looks. And that doesn't work. Usually because here, with cartoons and 2D drawn images and animating, the shadows are like very controlled, and they're not actually working like on a real physical model. So the idea that I wanted to do was to mimic how this model originally did it, which was custom shading. So like all the shapes for the shadows are all very controlled. So I want to make my character look like this, if that makes sense. So that is the goal for today. And one thing that we can also do, we can take a look at Chai here, is you can see how like there are some shapes that are built into them that give themselves to that style. You can see here he's like, if I can pull up the annotate tool here, and I'm just going to go to surface. Does this work? Yes. So you can see here, he has this natural like shape here, and that is being used for this pocket of light that hits his face, which is very stylized. Baby's Blender stream. Yeah, I know. Hey, Sega, how you doing? You can also see how there's like some sharp parts here around the nose. And then the mouth here is very disconnected from like the rest. Like you see how like dense this geometry is here. But then when you come to the mouth, there's like this wide gap around it. And what this does is it allows them more control over the mouth shape. They can make the mouth like have bigger, more expressive features while animating it. So we're gonna try to attempt some of this stuff. You'll see there's also some extra geometry here that's used for like these like strokes and whatnot. And we might see if we can attempt to do any of this stuff as well. But we're going to use Chai here as an example of like what our model needs to look like, which as you can see here is going to be something sort of like this. So for now, this is going to be very much like a learning process for myself since I'm still getting used to like Blender. And like I say getting used to Blender, I've been using it for almost like 10 years or something. Actually, no, more like closer to 8 years. And since I've made this model here, I have learned a lot and I want to do it better. And also I'm hoping that people can kind of follow along and just watch the journey as it goes along. And maybe if there's anyone else who's interested in Blender and stuff, you can learn something. And if you have any questions about Blender, let me know and I'll see if I can answer them. But this is just going to be very much a learning experience for us all. So I am going to, let's see. All right. So this is going to be the new file for the new model. I have some references in here. If you're going to like model a character or something, it's great to have reference. And so what I have here is I have this reference for the character's head, get nice up and close and under the hoodie. I have the reference for just like the full body, as well as this reference for an A pose character as well, so that I can like match up the A pose with this one. For now, what we're gonna do today, though, we're just gonna start with the head. Let me see if I can pull back up the full body. Here we go. First step, remove the cube. I already did that step off screen. Um, but yeah, it's a funny inside joke in Blenders. Whenever you go in, is you will take the cube, the default cube when you open up a new project, delete it, and then you'll pull in your own cube. First cube must die. We sacrifice the first cube so that the other cubes after it may live. All right, so let's start. The first thing we're going to do is the face. And as you can see here, I can split this right here. If I right click here, hit vertical split, and then I can like put that right there. And then I can go and press, I can either press this button here to switch to the side view, or I can, on my keypad, I can press 3. And I'm going to take this one and hide it for the time being as well. So we're going to start off with just this face section here. So as you can see, we have the front and the side, and combining these two together, we're going to get our face. Now, one thing I had mentioned is I wanted to like make sure that I can customize the shadow shapes of this character. So one thing definitely is I want to make sure that I can have this sort of like shape here for the shading on the face, as well as I want some shading to be able to go down like down to the bottom here. So like I need to model the character with all these shapes in mind. Another thing is going to be the nose, which we're going to probably make sure that this is like straight down the middle. And the nose itself is probably going to have like a patch right here that goes alongside the nose as well, so that we can get this nice shadow shape here. Let's see. Same with the eye, like the brow. Like I had mentioned before, I didn't really model in the brow. So another thing we can do is we can add a spot here for the brow as well, so that there is like some shadows that show up in this area of the brow as well. And then I think this will basically give me a good basis like how the geometry should be when I start modeling this character. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to exit annotation mode, and I'm going to pull in my new default cube. We deleted one to bring in another. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to shrink this guy up. We're going to pull him up to where our face is going to be. And then I'm going to press M and I'm going to merge it at the center. So now instead of a giant cube, he's a little dot. And I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to bring him forward. You can see him right here. I'm going to bring him forward. I'm going to move him up. And I'm just going to place him right here, right at the top of the brow. Now, one thing I probably will want to do first is I'm going to start with the eye shape here. And I kind of want to have it like, I know this is the basic shape of the eye. If I press E to extrude and just drag these points, I could do something like this where I just go, from these points here and there and just like merge these up so we make an eye shape. But I actually want to go and extend this above to where the top of the eyelid would be, and I'm going to model in the eyelid after it later. The reason being is I feel like whenever I model the eyelid, there's never enough geometry for it to properly close over the eye. And I'll show an example of that when we get closer to it. But for now, what I want to just make sure I'm doing is that I have enough. And actually, I'm going to take this. I'm just going to lower the opacity of the background image just so that I can see what I'm working on here. See, this one also can be 0.5. Just so I can see these shapes. I want there to be an even amount of vertices on both the top and bottom. So as you can see right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, but only, oh no, there's 4 down here. Okay, that's good. And I'm gonna try to even these out a little bit. Just so that they're somewhat lined up with the ones on the top. There we go. I might want to try adding another one right here. Let's see. Do I want to subdivide these? If I do, I'm going to have to add like another one here. So we'll just subdivide this. I'll move that so that we get this nice curve that will allow me to adjust some of this stuff. And then here, I'll probably do the same thing. Subdivide, move this up. We can move this way now. I can pull this one down. So right now I'm just building out basic shapes. Maybe pull that lower. I want this to be nice and sharp over here. And I can pull you down probably to around here. All right. And then let's see. For this section here, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 on the top, so I'm gonna want probably about 6 to be right here. And I'm gonna move this around and we're gonna line this up right here. And I'll merge that. What's up, cool kid? And then I'm gonna merge these. So that's gonna, actually I don't care. That'll be fine. It'll all be okay. actually, a better way I can do this, instead of just going through and connecting all these one by one, what I can do is press F and then press F again. Let's see, put that there. I'm filling all these in. Then I'm gonna add a loop cut here. And I'm gonna use the knife tool to connect this to this point, this to that point there. And there we go. So now we have this shape that will act as the eyelid here. And then, let's see. Ah, yes, Sega, you better criticize me. I'm doing a terrible job right now. So basic shape of the eye here, we kind of have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 loops going around here. Oh, you did not just dab on me. No. No, the dab is dead. All right. A lot of this is like me reviewing sort of this geometry here and just thinking like, how can I make this, better? So I'm just gonna move some of this stuff over just a tad. Charges execute, cool kid. Downgrade his username to lame kid. Okay, let's not be too hasty, There we go. All right. And then I think after that, that's the shape of the eye. And then what I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to start with the nose here, and I'm gonna want to make this make a plane like this, and I'm gonna want to connect this up to this area here. So I'm actually just gonna hit this and hit merge. We're gonna hit merge at last, and hit this. We're gonna hit merge at last. Let's see. I like it. Thank you very much. It's only the beginning right now, though. As we continue on, hopefully it'll become more of a model. All we have right now really is an eyelid. So I'm starting on like the crown of the nose, and actually we can probably take this here. No, wait. I want this to. Oh man, I'm gonna hate myself for this, but I just don't want to add more triangles. But sometimes triangles is what you need to connect some of this. So let's see. Yes, YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. Thank you. We are indeed on YouTube. So now what I'm going to do here, we need to start thinking about how this is going to merge with the rest of the face. A lot of this is going to be attaching all these shapes together. So I'm thinking here is I'm probably going to want to add more vertices here. And I'm gonna sneak this down here. And one thing that I can do is I can pull this over for the nose. Let's see here. I might need to subdivide this as well. Because another thing that we have to look at is the shape of the nose here as well. Are these not like lined up? I'm noticing something here, which is that the reference may or may not be lined up with the well, I'll figure it out in a moment. We'll keep going from the front here. So I'm definitely going to want, uh, this is a conundrum, actually. This is why it's very important to have your references lined up exactly, because otherwise, let's see here. If I bring you over. Oh, that's not good. Uh, it is slightly taller on the side. Okay, no biggie. I'm gonna just take this side here. There we go. And I'm just gonna move it slightly down. We basically want the bridge of the nose to line up the exact same with the bridge of the nose on this one here. If I just pull that over. Almost there. Okay, so hopefully that is now lined up properly. Let me grab this thing again. That looks better. Okay, so definitely making sure that your references on all sides are lined up, very important, because then that will help you figure out exactly where it is you're going with this. Now, I'm actually thinking I'm gonna pull you in, because one thing that I'm definitely gonna want is I'm gonna want this nice sharp shape, kind of like how Chai's is going down the top here. Then I can pull you out and you can go here like this. Let's see here. And then I'm gonna need a shape that will go, because if I take the nose here and let's say I pull to the front like this, I need an extra slice that's gonna make this bridge. This is probably gonna go around here. And then this is gonna remain like nice and sharp at the front. Put that here, put you there. So I'm gonna need to throw in another edge loop here. And then this part here can become the front. And actually I'll probably switch this to wireframe so I can continue to see what I'm working on. Wireframe, wireframe, there we go. And then I'm gonna add another one here so that I can pull this back in. So this will be, you see, like the bridge of the nose, pull that in. So now we can kind of see the nose is kind of starting to form. So that's good. I think we might need just a little bit more here. Well, actually, what I can do so that we can add some arciness to this shape here. And then what I can do is I can merge this into here, merge at last. And then this can help lend to that shape I had mentioned before. Let's see here. This nice and straight. Then I think I might just take these, just gonna straighten them out. I'll figure out what to do with this after the fact. Like to keep everything nice and even. These might need to come forward a bit. And then these here can get merged. Again, I can like move this stuff over to better line up with how the shape of this nose is coming along. Let's see here. I need to think about how I want this shape when the shadow comes out. Switch over. Another thing I need to think about. No, that's correct. Yeah, basically like that. Then I want to make sure that I keep this nose in mind, like down here. So I'm going to extrude this down. And another thing is that I can always go back and add additional details after I get the base mesh done. So what we're going to do for the time being. All right, and then I'm probably going to want to try to focus on making this shape of the cheek as well. So let me see here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to pull you back. You are also going to go back. You in there. How's everyone doing today? This one. Yes, I know you've been working on a model. That's gonna come out pretty well. Okay, so let's make some geometry here. And then for this one here, this one's gonna be tricky. I'm basically gonna need some extra geometry here for this shape. Anyway, just gonna make sure to save. Always make sure you save your work before anything bad happens. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to make sure that any connections I make that go here are going to line up with these vertices I've added over here. And sometimes I might need to add more for better details. But for now, we'll just see what we got. So I need 1, 2, 3. Actually, probably don't need this extra one here. Then I'm going to move this over, connect that to that, connect that to that. I'll make some adjustments. And we'll have to fill this. But I can connect these up to here. Fill that up there. Just going to pull this move. Oh, yeah. All right. Actually, I need to think about this. I go like this. I fill all these up. It's basically gonna be a grid. Thank you. Thank you, Super Sega. I'm gonna want to move some of this stuff over here. Yeah, I basically want it to join like this. I think I'm gonna throw in a thing right here. There we go. So now we're getting the shape I had wanted. I want to round these out. There we go. Now we're getting that shape I had wanted. Might add another loop cut here. And I can adjust this even more. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. I'm just making a new character model. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so now that's basically going to be the shape that's going to become the cheek, and I will make this nice shape here for the shading. I do think I need to get some extra vertices over here, though, just to help round this up. I think I need to put like a strip here. What we're going to do is we're going to pull from the dark arts of 3D rendering, and we're going to just do an illegal move, and we're going to probably add another trigon, which actually I'm trying to think about exactly where I should introduce this new triangle. Now, for those of you who don't know, usually in 3D modeling, when you're working with these flat faces called polygons, you usually want to stick to quads, which are just four shaped faces. So they have 4 points, basically like a square. And if you look at any video game models, they usually have triangles. And people mostly act like triangles in 3D modeling are taboo. But the reason why game models are triangles is based on how the system renders it and whatnot. But for 3D software like Blender, you don't usually use triangles. You just stick to quads, and that's for better edge flow. It works better with certain things, with certain tools, which we'll probably dive into later. But in some cases, it is actually quite necessary to introduce some triangles just to merge new sections up. And I'm trying to make sure that when I do this, that I'm getting a proper edge flow going here. So I might end up, and I'm trying to just make sure I'm doing this right. I might end up adding another one here. And then I need to basically go this way. And I'm going to re-examine this to make sure that I'm doing this right, because there might be some places where I can like optimize this to make it better, if that makes sense. Because it might not even need to go there, honestly. Yeah, what I can do is if I just merge this here and then just move this up here, it'll naturally go that way. Okay, and then there'll only be a triangle here that merges the eyelid with the rest. I think I can live with that. And then I need to keep this in mind that I wanted to make something out of this as well. I'm gonna do this, that there. And I'm gonna need to introduce an edge flow that goes this way. And if I'm gonna have this shape here, so I need to think about that. Probably do a shape like this. Something like that, maybe. Or I'll have to revisit that. I'll add that shading when I need it. But in the meantime, let's just build the eyebrow out first. Because this is going to be the part that needs to go in and then out. All right, let me see here. So I want these to be the same height as each other. All right, there we go. And I can just move off the annotation so I can actually see what I'm doing here. And one thing I'm going to think about is how I'm going to do this giant eyebrow. It can either be, I can either try to make it something that's flat, or I could try to make it part of the mesh. I try to do it something like this. I'm going to start straightening out this edge here. All right, and then go back up. I think at this point, what I need to do is I need to figure out how I'm going to simplify this because there might be too many vertices down below. So I might want to merge some for this moment. Thank you, checkmate. Then this can go up. And we'll just put that up there for the time being. All right, so now that I've done, let's see, this part here. Probably gonna wanna go over here, extend a bit more out, and then this will basically line up with the side of his face here. And while these do look close now in some areas, we're gonna be uh, moving them alongside the like this direction at some point, so they're not gonna be too close to each other. I said for this one, I wanted to have this shape basically go down to here. So I can actually start mocking that out too. I want to have a nice curve, if that makes sense. So a lot of these are going to have to go that way as well. Yeah, one thing at a time. Let's get more of the face built out. So probably around this point here is where the mouth will also start. So we're probably going to want, I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna delete the drawings right now. And I'm gonna make a new drawing. So if the mouse goes here, probably gonna want a nice arch that will join here. So we gotta like match up with this. Has anyone ever been interested in like the 3D modeling stuff? I know Sega has been. I think I can simplify this a bit more. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Oh, I think my for some reason my headset turned off. Love when it does that. Cause like I'm always gonna like look at this stuff and I'm just gonna think to myself like, could be better. But I think what we really need to do is get the basics down, and then once we have the basics, we can really start modifying this thing so that it all works nicely. And some things might change. Like I might change like how some of these connections are on the mouth here to this section as well. So I definitely want you to go. Another thing I need to think about is the shape of the mouth itself. So if let's say I just grab this guy here, and I'm gonna pull him up. I usually want, as far as like how many corners I want in the mouth, probably want somewhere between like, I mean, usually this is what I go for. It's most of my mouths are very simple, but another thing you need to think about is that the complex shapes they need to make, you need to include enough detail for them to work like that. So usually if we imagine that this was like a mouth shape, this would be like the center of the lips right here. You would then also have and I'm going to just get rid of that edge right there. You would also have like another spot right here with the lips and then the corner of the mouth. And you can either have the corner of the mouth be like just super sharp, but I like to keep 2 points so that I can make nice circular mouths. And I don't know if this mouth is going to be simple or complicated enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to add extra points that I don't normally do. We're just going to nicely shape this up into a mouth shape. And we'll just make the basis of like what our lip structure will be. I don't need this edge here either. Another thing we're going to want to think about is the lips as well. All right, so for this section here, I'm just going to start pulling stuff down. So this here, maybe this goes a bit too far. All right, something is going on right now. So I'm just going to quickly mute. I'll be right back. So please enjoy this short intermission where you can just observe the face of the model. Here's our progress so far. That's one moment. Hello, hello. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. Some family showed up. Ah ha ha ha. All right, let's get back to this character's face. All right, so I'm just going to keep extruding these out here so that we can make the bottom of the face. Yes, I am back. I seem to have missed out on the Chris Thorndike reference. All right. See here. Be nice and even. And then the thing I need to think about is how this all connects to the mouth. And what I might need to end up doing is, again, I might need to merge some of these. Which actually, what makes more sense? Should I just merge this to there? That might make more sense for the shape of the nose, honestly. So let's see. This is gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So I need to convert 5 to 3. And basically how this is going to work is we're going to just like take these and we're going to essentially merge them like this. So that might need to go there. And I'm probably not doing this the most optimal way. But we're learning, so we'll figure it out. Yeah, this definitely could be better. Let me back up. I want to make sure I'm doing this properly. Man, faces are hard. There we go. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That go to there. What makes the most sense? Oh, not really. You're not late. I mean, we're maybe like an hour in, but all this really is just me modeling stuff right now. So definitely probably want to have probably a center here. Which is going to change the whole layout. So again, I'm going to backtrack this thing. Part of this is also like doing math. Makes me want to look at Chai's model again. Because another thing I should do is I should make sure that these all line up as well. Let me see. So if I, let's say, hello, Ultimate Sketch Form. Yeah, I know, math, but unfortunately, math is part of like a lot of things that we have to do. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a quick save on this. I'm just gonna open up Chai's model again, and we're just gonna take a sneak peek under the hood and see how they do his mouth model here. So let's see. As you can see here, this flow here is like the underside of the mouth that we're trying to connect to. Sega, there's gonna be math in life. You just need to learn to accept that. Let me see. So if I go here, this is like, yeah, it looks like they're doing 1 point per connection up there. Kind of want to cheat that, honestly. Oh, but I see what they're doing with the corners here. Okay, so let me go back to my JPEG model. So I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 going this way, and here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going that way. And what I can do just for connect that up. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. Oh, actually, that lines up pretty well, actually. The only triangles are here at the corner, which is to be expected. So just have to deal with that for the time being. Now, the only thing I need to check is just going to be if these ones on the bottom here line up. I might need to add some extra ones to get this to work properly. Yeah, I need to add like just an extra subdivision right here. There we go. And then that way these connect up and we're making nice little neat pieces. The fun part really after like blocking out these shapes is seeing how the whole thing comes together. And then after that, we can play with this with the mouth here because I still need to make lips. Though we could probably hold on. Sonic the Amazing Digital Circus. Thank you. Though it was more so Shadow in the Amazing Digital Circus. I didn't put Sonic in it, but yeah, I get what you're saying. So I'm just going to scale this up and we're going to scale it out. And then that way it will give us some room for the lips when I eventually go and make them. Now let's take a look here what we have. So we did this side of the face. And the reason I'm only doing half the face is because what I like to do is I like to put on a mirror modifier that flips it around to the other side. Yeah, I knew what you meant. And then what that basically does is if I make any changes on one side, it applies the change to the other, which works really well for like symmetrical characters. Now, another thing I'm still not liking is how the eyebrow part is coming out because I'm just going to try on clipping here. See, now that I've turned on like the mirror, I'm like seeing things that are triggering me. But we'll get to those. It's mostly this eyebrow portion here that I'm not in love with right now. And I think part of the reason why is I should have just left it as like a straight block and then add the details after the fact. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna like backtrack this here. We're gonna delete this, we're gonna delete that, and we're gonna delete that. And then we're just going to just medium point. we're just gonna go here, and this is gonna be the moment where we like really simplify a lot of the model after the eyebrow. So I'm gonna merge these, merge you, merge you. That'll give us one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not bad. Then what I can do is I'm just gonna extrude this up and slide these over. And what we'll do later is we'll use this to help with the shape of the eyebrows later. And then we can take this and move that up as well. And we'll add a loop cut there. All right. Now that I've kind of made like the basic structure of this thing, and there's still parts here that can be simplified. Like now that I'm noticing it, this should like stay lined up over here. I'm just gonna move that over because I want a nice solid shape here for the shading to graft onto. And I'm wondering if I take this. There we go. Can I smooth this out? Thank you very much. I've been trying to work on my 3D modeling more and to understand the basics of it. Again, like some of the topology here is going to be very whack, but I'm going to revisit it later and we're going to clean up any messy parts. For now, I'm just trying to get the base structure down. So let me see. Can I smooth this? There's usually a smooth option. Let me see. Vertex, smooth vertices. Oh, okay, that did kind of smooth them, but I think maybe a bit too much. If I just, yeah, I'm just gonna just a tiny bit of smoothing. Nothing too crazy. All right, so now the next part is to take this shape that we have on the front and to line it up with the side of the head here. And usually what I do is like you can start with the back here, just like move this back, probably to where the jaw kind of ends. And then we need to start moving pieces as well back to the front. So let's start here. There's always places where I can make optimizations because a lot of this stuff is like pretty bad. Actually, what I might do for this one, might just move that over and then we'll just slide this one over. I would probably feel better about that. Another thing that I'm forgetting is I'm allowed to like, there's like so much stuff that I'm technically allowed to do. In fact, if I really wanted to, yeah, we'll get to it. One piece at a time. So it doesn't need to be like on top of it, on top of it. It can just be to the side here. Jeez, I love that anime. Oh my goodness. I definitely think instead, because I kind of messed this one up, instead of this being conjoined here, this piece needs to continue up. This needs to go up the head. So that these ones can like come down as well. I will find you, Sega. Uh. Can I just merge like these? Is that a thing? I know he said that it's okay to use triangles, but I might be using just a bit too much. All right, I'm gonna put those back. That's fine. All right. So now that I've gotten this here, just gonna start with this line here. And I'm just gonna pull you forward. Pull you forward. This is gonna be another problem if these like aren't that well aligned, is I might just need to make some guesses. Because then what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna get some really weird shapes. So another thing I completely forgot about was this part of like the lips down here. It's like this little like bump. Might need to add some extra pieces for that to exist. We're starting to get some shapes in here. Okay, so now we're starting to get a bit of the lip shape in here. This needs to line up back here. And part of the thing we're also going to need to keep in mind is how all this is going to have to like go in an arch towards the back of the head. It needs to go like, man, I can't draw. Can't. It needs to basically going to go in like this direction. Let's see here. All this back. It's going to go back to the front here. Hello, Daisy World. How are you? Oh, that's okay. I'm afraid I myself don't speak Spanish, so I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah. I'm gonna have to fix that very pointy chin. All right, one thing at a time. Yes, I know what pointy chin I have. It's all part of the process. Oh my goodness, this is like looking really bad. This is always like the rough part is like trying to put all this together. Let me continue up from here. This will help give me some structure. So set this part here. I need to set up like the eye basically. All right, so you're gonna go here. You're gonna go there. All right, so I'm just basically going to be grabbing a lot of these and trying to move them up so that they make more sense. So now it's starting to somewhat have the shape of an eye. Hello, Reginald. I am doing well. How are you? We're just working on this silly face for JPig, which is me. I'm JPig. What do you want to ask? Hello, Lily the Bunny. Welcome. Nice to hear you're a big fan. Am I a fan of murder drones? You know what? That is an excellent question. I actually tried to start watching Murder Drones with a friend, and we never got around to continue it. And then The Amazing Digital Circus came out, and we just started watching that. I honestly need to get back and like finish Murder Drones. Really love the Amazing Digital Circus animations where Shadow is there. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Um, those ones are always fun to work on because I'm going to be like trying new things. But I am currently thinking about. We will finish it, I promise. I am currently thinking about. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I am messing up this topology when I do that. All right. I am thinking about the next episode for Shadow 2. I haven't started it yet, but I am like keeping it in my head of what I want to do for it. Sonic. Don't you start, Sega. I have enough on my plate as it is with just this with this other stuff with like Shadow and the Amazing Digital Circus. Let's not add to my workflow. Simple. Yeah, sure, it's simple. Huh? What's up? Oh man, look at all these robots. They're trying to kill me. Oh, well, that's normal. No, pretty average day for me, honestly. Just another day being Sonic. Think about the views. Think about the views. It's all about the views. Well, it's not always about the views, Spider Man. After the Digital Circus, Shadow is it possible to do Murder Drones, Shadow or Sonic? Ah, man, I really gonna have to think about it. Because right now, like the Shadow stuff is gonna keep me really busy on top of like all the other projects I'm trying to manage right now. So we'll have to see how burnt out I'm feeling when I get to if once I finish the series, like if I'm still even feeling up to doing something like a murder drones type thing. Hello, hello. Oh man, I don't know why my headset keeps turning off, but I'm clearly using it. This never happens. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, I got to keep trucking forward on this thing. This is actually getting depressing how much little work I'm getting done on this and how it's looking. Sometimes I wonder if there's a better way to do this. But I just like to dig myself in a hole. Actually, hold on. Let's back up here. Well, that's cool. I'm not very I would say artistic. So for me, something like 2D animation is actually kind of hard to do. I'm not very good at drawing. That's okay. That's just sheer. I am like doing this in the worst way possible. Oh, nice. I'm working on remaking my OC. Doing commissions. No, I'm probably not going to be doing commissions. For the Amazing Digital Circus, I really like Kane. Honestly, he's very funny, and I like how he's animated. For Murder Drones, honestly, because I haven't seen the whole series yet, I can't really say that I have a favorite. I like Uzi. She's funny. Hold on a second. Pull some of this stuff back here. Okay, this makes a lot more sense to do it this way. Pawnee, Ragatha, Jackson, Kane. That's nice. See, now we're starting to get this like nice shape here for the cheek. I'm sorry about the awkward silence. I'll just try to keep talking through what I'm doing. So right now I am just working on taking and honestly what I need to do is I just need to get some background music for these streams. Like this is painful. So what I'm doing right now, I am just lining up these shapes here for where they're going to be on the face. And then I'm working on the nose right now. These shapes are all going to be very interesting. Let's see. I think I should probably do is the center here. Don't know why I didn't start with the center. The center is very important. Trying to fix my character's arms. They look like fries. Oh man, good luck. Fries, like curly fries, like French fries, normal fries. All right, so now I'm working on the brow here. It's starting to take shape. Oh my goodness. What sharp eyebrows you have. Here, let me fix that. Yeah, the Futurama variety. Model isn't usually so. Well, the first model isn't usually that bad. Ah! My goodness. But it is getting started, so we're just gonna keep working on some stuff here. My dream is to get animated by you someday. Do you think that could be possible? I don't know. It depends what happens. I don't usually go around just animating like people or random things. It's got to be something I'm like really interested in. I know someone mentioned commissions, but I don't really do commissions myself. Okay, now that we're in this really weird spot, this is probably normally where I should start. Sega, have I? No, I've animated you before, but that's just because we're friends and we were in the same project together. It wasn't even a project for you, technically. You were just there. Okay, so I think I am understanding what part of this problem is here, which will just be that eventually I'm going to have to add more supporting mesh eventually, which will come underneath all these. But in the meantime, what I can do, I can just take this one and just move it all over, which means I'm going to move this one over too. Hello, Sugar Man. How are you? That's starting to look a little better. All right, so I'm just going to pull these closer to the front. We'll smooth them out in a bit. Okay, that's looking a little better. What's mostly going on here is this shape here. Is there not a triangle here? There isn't. Okay, that's what's causing this weird shape. Just gonna throw that in there. What do you think of the... Oh, I don't even know if I saw that, honestly. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we can just say Lily. That's fine. Lily. All right, that's getting a bit better. There we go. Now we're finally like getting closer to the actual shape. Let me check this brow here. I think this brow should probably go further back. Yeah, basically I'm working on a new character model that will replace the one you currently see right now. And I want this one to look 2D, like, toon shaded. A lot of blenders trust the process. Yes, it is. Just trust the process. It will get better. Just trust me. But I will say already a lot of this is starting to look much better than when we started. That just needs to come forward. This needs to go back. I think at this point what I can probably do is switch over to solid view and just actually like look at this thing, and this will help give me an idea of like, okay, what needs to change. So I think these can probably come forward a bit. He looks so sad right now, bro. He's like, oh my goodness, what am I? And it's like, bro, just trust the process, bro. Let's see. Shadow and the Amazing Digital Circus episode 8 and that's out. Great. Yes, it would be. Like my Blender project, I've shown some process in our group chat, and so a whole lot of trust in the process and trial and error. Yeah, I mean, anything you do is it's gonna be a whole lot of trial and error, until you get it right. You don't get everything right the first time, but as long as you keep at it, you get it right eventually. Looks better than the mocking mirror on the wall in Shrek 5. Oh no, not the Shrek 5 mirror. Yeah, I'll have to see if there's any spots for me to clean this thing up eventually. Oh my goodness, he looks so sad, bro. But he's not looking bad. think I want this to have a better curve to it. We're just gonna pull out some of this stuff here. Go. It's really just this part here that's bothering me, how sunken this shape becomes. And I'm wondering if that just means I might need some more vertices as well. Let's see what happens when I turn on Shade Smooth. Oh! What is happening? This is why I don't turn on Shade Smooth. All right, probably what I just need to do is just recalculate the normals. There we go. All right. So far, this actually isn't a bad start. I'm just going to turn back on Shade Flat so I can see some more stuff here. Go. Yeah, I think that's a good start. So basically, there's going to be a couple of things that I'll have to clean up, but we can save that for next time. We got the first part, which is just like the face basically sketched out, and I'll have to do some other stuff. I guess the next steps will be cleaning up the face as well as modeling the rest of the head here. But yeah, I think this is a really solid start, and it's going to be really cool to see what this turns into. So I just want to thank everyone for joining me. This is like my first time really doing streams like this, so still figuring out the groove, but I think it will be a really fun time. It's just these are really supposed to just be chill sessions where we can just hang out and all that stuff. Let me see. The thumbnail looks like this design all cartoony. Yeah, it does. But I'm hoping to make it look even more cartoony. Yeah, so just want to say thank you all who joined me, and I'm gonna try to do this again next Friday at 7 p.m. again. So if any of you want to keep seeing the progress on this one, consider joining around then if you're available, and I will see you all again next time. Thanks so much for joining. Have a good night. Bye.